Hello and welcome back to Transports Fever 2. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. Now, last time out we built a whole bunch of railways and farms and connected things up and built the tree lines that go on the outsides of them to make it as realistic as we possibly could. Today, what we are going to be doing is going to be taking a couple of ride-alongs. We're going to be running on the railway from Ely all the way over to Bracknell, so basically looking at the extension of the line. And on top of that, we will also be looking at a route from Ely or over to, is it West Brom? So we'll be taking a route to West Brom, or from West Brom to Ely, one way or the other. Along the way, we'll be taking a look around, seeing what does and does not look right, and I'll point a few things out. And in addition to that, I might do a little bit of work here and there. No time lapse in this video because we want to see the journey of the trains. And I think that's about it. That sounds pretty good for the agenda of this particular video. So make sure you stay tuned for some British train action. Alrighty, before we continue, one of the things I want to point out is that off camera, just before this episode, I decided let me just fill this tiny little area up with trees, birch trees, and I want to point out just how neat that looks compared to, well, the rest of it. That looks so fantastically neat. And that is going to cause me a problem, because now that I've seen that, I want to have that everywhere. But that is going to be a huge undertaking. So maybe at some point I might just go ahead and start erasing some of these and replacing them. I think I'll do it one line at a time. I'll probably end up building a few more lines, but I'll end up doing one line at a time, one side at a time, one area at a time. Just to do this. Let me know if you think that's a good idea to have trains or to have trees like this. Far neater than the more haphazard placement. And it doesn't just have to be these birch trees here. It can be any other tree. We could use oak trees. We could use, I was going to say Scots pines. Maybe not such a good idea to use Scots pines, but certainly oak trees or what's the other trees? Not acacias. What other trees do we have available to us? Do we have firs? Maybe we could use some fir trees, though not very realistic. Unfortunately, we do not have the ash trees or anything like that. Anyway, moving along over here, you can see that we have our railways with our trains waiting to go back and forth. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create or extend this current line now. So let's manage that line and go Macclesfield, add station. Oh, we do not have actually, before we do the, oh no, it's over here. I'm an idiot. I looked at that and I thought, oh, that's just a standard station, 2-track platform, etc. No, Macclesfield, add station, Ely, back to Macclesfield. There we go, and let's stick this return platform 2. There we go. Okay, in addition to that, I'm going to, oh, I think Steve's updated his mods, because now it's just green there and not, oh, that looks so much nicer. Steve, if you're watching this video, that looks fantastic. That really does look fantastic. And if that wasn't something you did, well, it still looks fantastic regardless. That just looks so much better. Well done. Well done there on the texture updates. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at all these vehicles, and I might look at, in fact, no, not all of these vehicles. I'm going to look at 2 trains. 2 trains or 1 train? Let's just do 1 train. We're going to duplicate it. And that's the train we're going to be taking out today. Out of here. So this is the train we're catching today. And I will jump on board. That's not the jump on board button. Let's try again. I will jump on board. There we go. Now I cannot remember. There used to be keys to change the. There used to be keys to change the view, but unless I haven't got that mod installed. C up down. That's not it. There it is. Z and X. So let's find ourselves a reasonable spot. Ooh, that guy looks like his eyes need a little bit of work. Now we still have some bugs here. Along that looks reasonable. Okay. We're probably going to be waiting a while, so I'm going to fast forward until the green, and then we'll continue. Now, of course, we've seen this part before, but never hurts to see it again. And as I said, I've changed a little bit in the station, so it would be nice to see how the spacing is working, and perhaps where I can improve. I put in a little bit more in the way of farms, so maybe we'll be able to see some of those. I doubt it, though. I think this is on the other side. Are we going to be sitting here for ages? Oh no, there's a train there. There you go. That train can now wait for us. So taking a look around. See, I'm still not sure what to do here. It looks so nice not having farms around here, but I can only assume that you would have farms here realistically. And again, I might want to start neatening this. Just looking at this now, making this neater might just look incredible. Once it's all done, instead of just having, some of this foliage just haphazardly placed around, just nice, neat rows of trees and bushes, and really taking the time to do that. Of course, all that does take hour upon hour upon hour, which time I tend not to have due to my job. And trying to create all the different videos I create and everything like that. So, shameless plug here. If you can do so, do consider supporting me on Patreon. Might not be all too helpful just yet. In fact, I say all too helpful. Of course, it is very helpful. All the support is massively appreciated. But the idea is, in the future, if I have enough on Patreon, I can just do this as a full-time career. Got one of the roads there. Might be nice to just have the level crossing as a road and do the rest as just the dirt paths that we've been using. See, I like this hedgerow here for the farms. I do like that, and having a little tree in there. On this side, it's not too bad either, because this is a bit more. It's a bit more dense. I see this does look all right, but I think it's where it starts tapering off and becoming more sparse. That's where you have the problem. That looks nice. I might get rid of that pine tree there. There's a train waiting to come in, or to join on the single line, coming out of Carnforth. Carnforth is where's Carnforth in the UK? I was told it was it Lake District area. I think that's what I was told. Ooh, slight amounts of lag, which is strange given that we're on Vulcan now. And we're off the... Oh no, we're not off the throttle, that was weird. We are now. And into Carnforth we come. So moving to the Vulcan API has certainly made things smoother, but it has not improved it to a massive extent. But I'm sure that a few more updates and they should be absolutely a-okay with it. Now my concern for the other line is that we're travelling from West Brom to Ely, which means that technically we can only have a single train on the line at any time because it's a single track. And because there are only 2 stops, you can only have 2 trains, one at either stop. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I think I need a passing place in the middle so that the 2 trains can continue on their journey and sort of cross in the middle. I think that might be the better option. So I'm going to do that in a little while, but do let me know in the comments box if you think that's a bad option, and then I can go back, or any alternative suggestions would be fantastic, very appreciated. I hope everybody is having a lovely Tuesday. I'm recording this the nights before. If it's a time lapse, I tend to record the weekend before, if I can. And if it is just a standard episode like this, I'll try to record the nights before, particularly on something like Transport Fever 2, where there's a lot of stuff that you can do. Other titles I will sometimes record a few weeks in advance, particularly the multiplayer ones, but also Euro Truck Simulator is sometimes recorded 2 weeks in advance. Banished as well, a couple of weeks in advance. And set of course there's another one like this, it's recorded the day before. Come on, some train, come along, come on, anytime now. Who on earth are you waiting for? I need to go check what's going on. Is there a train on the way? Oh, you're waiting to enter the station. You're leaving. Is that what it is? That's what it was. Okay, that's fine. Let's move to this side now. Okay, let's continue. Could make a little bit more waiting. A little bit of a judder there. So again, it's places like these where maybe I need to really neaten up the tree lines. And I've just got to figure out how I'm going to do this, because looking at maps of the UK and the train lines there, things are very condensed. So the trees are very, very densely packed. And I think that overall it causes maybe some sort of, I think in Transport Fever 2 we cannot connect them up like that. At least that is what our eyes seem to notice. Now I could be wrong, and I am going to try, and I certainly did try before this video with the birch trees, but I'm not too sure. I really want willow trees in here. Out of the tunnel. I wonder what we should name that tunnel. Does anybody have a name for that tunnel? Something interesting and British. i.e. you're not allowed to use the word new in it unless it's Newport. Okay, up to another public right-of-way crossing. There's the train waiting to head back. I've seen some fantastic mods coming up for British stuff like semi-detached houses and the terraced house and things like that. There's a whole bunch coming in, which I think is really awesome. But I want to see by the time I get to that period, I am going to have quite a lot available to me. I'd like to see some Victorian housing. And obviously the semi-detached and stuff from the 1960s onwards, and I think between those ones and perhaps a couple of Tudor style houses, we should in theory be able to create any kind of British city we want. The only problem is getting the AI to do that and getting it to spawn things correctly. For example, I think at the time of this recording, the semi-detached housing looks great, only spawns foot traffic. It cannot spawn cars for some reason, so that's something to consider and something that I have to factor in. Now if that can be fixed, then come the 1960s, there's going to be a lot of changes. There's going to be a lot of buildings coming in with all the housing, and that's going to be awesome. I did see some for the British terraced housing, which I'll be honest, it does not really look that good, and the author of the mod did say it's more for something in the distance, not something that you want to be using close up, which is fair enough. But I'd love to see some, we've got the semi-detached, now do the detached housing, the terraced housing, some flats, and some Victorian housing of similar thing, and I think you've got most of the housing you could get in Britain, or to make genuinely nice looking British cities. Particularly Victorian. Victorian's going to be a big one because there was a lot of expansion in the Victorian era, and there are still a lot of houses, particularly in large cities, for example London, that have Victorian buildings everywhere, and then there's a mix of Victorian, and you've got the 1960s housing, the 1980s ugly flats. They looked very I'm not sure what it's just like concrete, just horrible concrete, and they just did not look so nice. And then obviously now the more modern ones, it's sort of a mix nowadays. What are you waiting for? Well, waiting. Right, fast forward that. It's sort of a mix nowadays. It seems to be modern buildings with very old. It's modern buildings with old. What do you call it? I just realised something here. If that's the passing loop, I've just made a mistake, haven't I? If that's the passing loop there, that's the passing loop there. Why have I done that? You should be on a signal. Aha. You should be on a signal at the end of this platform, really. And this should be... This shouldn't be like this. This should be more... Maybe that, and oh, this can only go badly, isn't it? This can only go badly. There and there. That looks better. I suppose that's how double track railways came about. Right. This is going to be awkward all the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to jump on the one ahead. Train number 1. Because that's just going to be nicer for us. There you go. Nope. It's not also one. Alright. Let's continue. You can close them now. Close the cylinders. There. Okay, no, no, no. Stop with but no. Stop that. So there's our brand new viaduct, which does dip downwards a bit. I was debating whether to try and lower all of this a little to try and flatten that out a bit. So let me know if that's something that you might think is a good idea. But certainly here we go, entering the viaduct. And that really does look nice. I should put the farms in on this side, not hello. Obviously all over here. I've done all of those, but I really should put perhaps some in here, just to see how it all pans out. You can see here, this is where it starts dipping downhill a little. But I think overall it's not too bad. It's going to be a massive downhill though. I think no matter how much I lower the other side, this is just a huge downhill section. I just had the brake slightly. So that does look really nice. Obviously some of these farm areas are going to be filled out with just forest. And this area, this oak forest, again, that's nice. That one tree is rather big, but fine. But that does look nice. You can just see a few trees poking out above the line, but most of it all the way through, you can see it just goes into a densely packed forest, which I'm happy about there. That's reasonable. I think that's as best as we can get it. You know, you cannot see past maybe once the forest starts proper, you cannot see past I don't know, a few, maybe 20 meters, 30 meters through. Right, let's take a good look at this side, so we can have a look at these new trees that I put. Let's see if these look acceptable here, or does this more haphazard placement look better? Also, I think the type of tree that I've used is probably not great for this. I'm looking around at these other trees, and I think those are better trees. So here we go, we're splitting into two. We've got our new line on that side. You can just see the trees over there marking the line, and that's our new tree section. I think the trees, the trunks of the trees are a little thin. So I think maybe that will be a cause for it. And there's our new line. I think that looks really nice, these two lines coming in this form and this fashion. So that is quite impressive, and that is us in Ely. So, are the passengers waiting? There's 7 passengers waiting. Where did you come from? You've come from over there. So we need to set up bus lines and things like that. That is going to be quite important. Stagecoaches. So whilst that's all getting on with that, I want to look at this. So realistically, we've got, I suppose, just 2 trains running through here is not a problem. Let's go ahead and not do that. Let's go ahead and first of all change this from Bracknell to Ely. So that's where I know what's going on. Let's start a new line. And I'm going to... Oh, this is going to be an interesting one, because no matter where I start, it's going to... I suppose West Brom might be a place to end it. Potentially. Okay, let's start at West Brom there and do that. Let's paint this line slightly lighter green It's still quite distinctive, so not a problem. PARA West Bromwich to Ely. Now this is clearly not a main line, but that's being said, what is the size of the train that's going to run this? Because there could be a lot of usage in here. That's something to consider. So let's pick a train. Let's build a train. Steam. Fake wagons, no. 1830s, no. What I am going to do, I'm going to move forward to 1852. We're going to say it took a year to build. Well, 1850. Oh no. 1850. 1853. There you go. That's reasonable. Okay. So let's see what is available to us. Start of 1853. So, by vehicles, I do not think anything changed. So we've got some generic ones. We've got the mega pack. So this had a top speed of 60. Obviously, we're doing 40 through all of this. We could go for this very green. It's an interesting type. Lifespan of these 6 hours 5 minutes. We need to try. I might need to put something in it. Just no lifespan on these. So we ran that, I believe. That's the one we were running, which looks lovely. So we could swap to a smaller train. I think a smaller train might make sense here. 45 miles per hour. It's a much smaller train. Or what are these generic ones? A tank engine. That would be great. That's a tender engine. Tank engine. 31 miles per hour. I'm so tempted to use a tank engine. And then the question is a saddle tank or a well tank? What's the speed of the... Both of them are the same speed, okay. Some generic British ones, slow. I'm very tempted to use... You know what? Why not? 2 of these. Oh no. I've just realised what I've done. Okay, if I have done what I think I've done, I do not apologise. And there's a reason why. If I've done what I think I've done. Yeah, we do not want any black? No. But we could do like a grey coat or something. That'd be nice. How do I get rid of the colour on these? Apparently I cannot. Sure, fine. Catch me who can. I have no idea what that means. Let's go for... I like the Midland Railway ones. Oh, I can. Of course I can. Why is this all doing weird things? Should we check the Midland? Let's check that. I can still take 20. It's just much slower. What did these take? Each one 6. And you just take 2 of those. Yeah, let's do that. So we're just going to do third class, I guess. Third class rear brake, that could do. I'd like one like that, so a third class and then a rear brake. That looks reasonable to me. Okay, so we buy 2 of them. And we shall set these onto the new line. Let's hop aboard. Have I made a Percy? Kind of. A little. That poor engine. That poor engine looks like it's struggling so badly. That is quite the struggle right there. Right, let's put some I know what I've forgotten here whilst the train's coming in. Let's put one of these one of these or loads of these, and I'll stick one over here too. That should be okay. Okay. Right. Let's see what becomes of this. I need to get a really good shot of this though. I really need a very, very good shot of this. How and what are you planning to do? You're not doing what I want you to do, but I'll sort that out. That's all wrong, isn't it? Right, manage line, West Brom, platform 2, that's better. That's much better, right. Get the right angle on this. That there, that looks good. Let's see if I can make this picture work. I can certainly make this picture work. That's the thumbnail, of course. Right. I'll take one there, and then I'm going to potentially consider another one if we push the train slightly further up. I kind of wanted it on the opposite side, but it's okay. No, that's what I'll have to do. Right. Let's jump on board with this one. And let's enjoy its toggle camera positions. There you go. That's what I wanted. That's it. So this one has it. Oh, that's the other one. Okay. So let's enjoy this this journey and see how this all looks. Lift up a little bit. Plenty of farmland. All of that looks great. There's a path down there, public footpath. Got some water down there. Cannot see the other railway. Probably somewhere over that hill, I think. Is it at that other side of the water? It should be out there somewhere. Because that's the water. I cannot see it. On this side, again, this is where I think we need more trees. It's a bit sparse again. Well, maybe change something here. Where is that other... I'm not sure why I keep looking forward, just in case it's an accident, but no, I cannot see the other line. It should be there because we're coming in that way, so it should be coming in across here. Oh wait, is that it? No, that's just something else. It's just a farm. Oh, unless I'm looking at the completely... I might be looking at something completely different. It might be the completely wrong lake. Should be interesting. It just shows how everything's building up together. and it does look nice. This video can probably be called Tank Engine. Percy the Tank Engine. I think Percy is a saddle tank. Not sure. Not seen it in many years, so I think he's a saddle tank. I know that Thomas is a sort of squared off tank. That's the only train I know properly. That and perhaps like Spencer. Was it Spencer the Class A4 train? The was it 462 Class A4s? I think, and then you had Gordon. Was Gordon the really big blue train? Looked like a Duchess or something class. Was it Duchess? Oh, sorry, not a Duchess. It looked like a Class A1 or something like that. Anyway. Oh, and of course, the bad guy of the lot, the diesel engine. Is it a Class 30? Actually, I have no idea what that one was. What is it, Class 43? No, 43 is a HST. What am I talking about? Class 30... Is it Class 37? Nope, no idea. No idea for diesel. I cannot even remember what diesel looked like. I'm pretty sure it didn't have that long nose though at the front. So it could be a... I mean, Class 37 actually had that long nose, so what's the one with the flat? Which one had the flat nose? It could be the 47, it could be a 47. Yeah, that might be right. No idea. So my theory now is that that previous train should be now leaving the other station. This one's going to pick up passengers, go backwards, and then they should meet somewhere halfway. That's the theory. Whether it ends up working like that, I'm not too sure. But we will... I guess we shall have to see. So there's our journey to Ely in our tiny little engine. Aha! Problem. Problem is you need a way to get to here. There you go. So you should now continue. And now you're going to wait. You are now going to wait for this guy to come along. This isn't going to work. This just is not going to work. We do need a passing point somewhere in the middle. Because the difference here is that somebody comes along and then goes that way, but these trains are continuing in that direction. So they're not having to turn around here, they're continuing up. Unless I'm just pushing the problem further back. But if I were to add a passing point here, these trains can come along and meet in the middle. So I'm going to attempt it. Here we go. Here's the attempt at a passing point. There's your passing point. Make the most of it. There. Make the most of that passing point. Looks roughly in the middle. Right, you're going to hold, but that's okay. Okay, let's have a look. Do we have people here? 4. Just 4. But still, this should start now growing. So we've got the options here. We've got 200 residents there. We've got 192 here. We've got 197 here. Come on. We've got 195 here. and 232 here. Okay, well I guess Bracknell's a little busier than it used to be. That's fine. I might actually start building little areas. You see how we can get this to grow, but clearly they have not yet filled out all the areas I want them to fill out. So I'm sort of trying to force the building in a specific way. So I want them to build up in all of these areas before I then demolish things and build them further. That's way I'm hoping. The theory is that by doing such a thing, they would, if an area already has something, they'd continue building in that area. I think I've clearly made a hash of something. Somebody's going to have to assist me here with some ideas. Obviously, I'm just trying to keep it realistic. The easiest way for me to do all this is to double track a bunch of this, or to add delays and things, which would be great, and then I'd have to use a timetable mod, which I want to do, but perhaps not quite yet. Now, how would I get this West Brom, this route here? Ah, yes, there you go. The viaduct's over this tiny lake, not this large lake. So we were seeing this road, and then as I thought, there's a hill in the way for that viaduct. Now what I could do is I could go from West Brom over here, along here and into Macclesfield, or I could go West Brom up this way to Carnforth. Now that would be interesting. And then we could have, from Ely, we could go both to West Mersey. In fact, to West Mersey, and then from West Mersey we could go across that way and that way, either towards Lichfield or towards Berwick. And at the same time, we can have a run from Lichfield through West Mersey up to Bentham, or a West Mersey switch over to Barnstaple. Barnstaple could connect to West Brom. Barnstaple could also connect to Bentham, and then we have the line going from Bracknell, Carnforth, West Brom, Barnstaple to Bentham, and then we'll have Lichfield, West Mersey, Bentham, and we would have Bracknell, Carnforth, Macclesfield, Ely, West Mersey, which would then go down to Berwick. We could probably even look at a route from Attleborough, Barnstaple, West Mersey, so you just stay on this side, West Mersey, Lichfield, New Romney, and then the main line essentially would be the line that runs from Berwick down here, along here, across here, across this one, and then continuing to Berwick with a branch to Alford, Berwick to Downham Market, down to Croydon, Batley, Stratford upon Avon, and Kingsbridge, and then we'd have Sudbury, Shepshed, Maryport, Ollerton, joined back to Berwick upon Tweed, so that could be another line. Maybe Berwick upon Tweed could go towards Alford and Bentham as a branch line, which could then join up onto that and that, and there's so many things that we could do. There's a lot of ideas here, and of course that's just passenger. The freight routes is something we need to start working on at some point too. What's passenger numbers looking like here? Ooh. Okay, West Brom to Ely has started picking up, it seems. People want to go to West Brom. And going backwards, not quite as much. There is a train approaching carrying one person. Not so many people, just one. And that's going to pick up 2. And then over here we've picked up the, what was it, 10? We've picked 10 of the 12. And there are people heading towards it. And of course, as soon as this can grow, maybe I can start making the bus routes. But I think that is where I'm going to end this particular video. Off camera, I'm probably going to add in some more farms around here. Maybe, I think I'm going to add in farms down to Lichfield. And then around here, I'll do that. I'll probably finish off the farms in this area. That gives me, and down to Alford and Berwick. And that should give me a fair amount to be able to create through. So I'll try and do as much of that as I possibly can. And then in the next video, we will probably do, let me think. Let's do a time lapse of me running a freight line. I think that is going to be a good idea. So there we go. That is what we will do next week. Or if you have any other ideas, please let me know in the comments box. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. As I said, leave a comment in the comments box below with your thoughts, your ideas. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon at www.patreon.com/ECGadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really help me out. And also you can find me on social media at ECGadgetLP for both Twitter and Instagram. That is all from me, and I will see you after the autosave. Let's wait for that autosave, I guess. Come on. Come on. Anytime now. There we go. That is all from me, and I will see you next time in Transport Fever 2.